Gemini, I'm here to give you a 2024 New Year wildcard read straight from the hip with lots of lip, where we look at the energies in play for you in the coming year. We're going to see, will fortune's fate favor you? I don't know, Gemini. We're going to check it out. We're going to dive right into this. We're not going to waste any time here. This is for any strong placement of Gemini in the chart. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. A significant placement in that third house. Or if you are a Sagittarius rising, that makes you a Gemini Descendant. And this may speak strongly to you. So let's see, let's get a baseline energy here. Where you're at currently, I feel like you've been feeling a little bit stuck, maybe uncertain about the way forward. It's interesting. I feel like you do know what you need to do, Gemini. It's just you don't really want to look at it. Maybe it feels like it's a little bit more than you can really deal with or handle at this time. In some cases, there might be some practical concern that makes you feel like you got your hands tied in some way. Some of you might be turning a blind eye to something. You know that you don't dig what's going on, but you'd rather just kind of like keep the peace right now because you're tired of so many hassles. Every time you bring something up, you're dealing with somebody who only talks in circles around you anyway, and it ends up just being a big confusing mess, and then you wish you would have never opened up your mouth in the first place. Some of you are just really trying to figure out, how do I get myself out of this cycle? And you are feeling kind of stuck. Like you feel like you keep kind of going over the same loop, the same old ground. But I feel like this is really all in your head. You don't have to stay stuck here, Gemini. With the Eight of Swords, we know that the obstacle is only in your mind, all right? Seven of Swords, this could be because of a lack of confidence. This could be because you recently found out that somebody was sneaking around. They were doing something behind your back. You feel like you don't know if you can really trust this person anymore. You suspect their intentions, okay? So this has got your hackles up a little bit. Understandable. Maybe this person's trying to encourage you to like give things another chance, to open up to another round of, trying to hit the reset on this connection, but you're just feeling like a little worse for the wear, and you don't know if you want to set yourself up for another fall. Let's see what we got here. I mean, this person is telling you that they're willing to do the work. They're willing to make a commitment. They want to see this through for you. I can see this working out one of two ways at this point. This could be a business connection. Maybe you've tried working with this person before. They made a lot of big promises. It was a tall order, an order taller than they could really fulfill. And you were kind of left with all of the responsibility. And it ended up being just an experience you wish you would have avoided and never gotten into in the first place. Maybe this person's also kind of trying to get you sold on an idea they want you to invest in. This could be a financial investment. They want you to financially back them on this idea. I think you've been down this road with this person before, though, and it didn't work out so well for you the last time. For some of you, this is in relation to a relationship. You had a partner step out on you. You suspected that maybe they cheated on you. There's been a rocking of the trust in this connection. This person is willing to recommit. They're hoping to grow something between you, kind of put it on a new footing. And you're just not sure if you want to move forward with this because you've been feeling kind of trapped in a repeat cycle with this person. One more cut to get the general baseline, and then we're going to dive into what's in store in the future. I mean, I think you have some certain non-negotiables in this situation, any way you look at it. Maybe not everybody agrees with your position. You might have a lot of people talking at you, giving you advice, telling you the best course of action for you to take. But I think at the end of the day, I'm seeing that shield almost like that Ace of Pentacles that knight is promising to plant. You know what you want to see grow in your life, and it's kind of non-negotiable at this point. And I think that's why you might be feeling some confusion about whether or not you really want to move forward with this person. It's sort of like maybe there's some part of you that feels like obligated to them in a certain way. You don't want to let them down. Maybe you're in the habit of kind of like believing in the best in people. You don't really want to sacrifice that. And at the same time, you know how you suffered a big loss the last time and you don't want to lose out again. So I think this is the way you're sort of entering the new year. You're standing on your convictions. You know what's true for you. You're not really willing to budge. And you got somebody who's kind of like really wanting you to give them another chance. And they are saying they're committed, you know, they're going to follow through. They're willing to prove it to you. Okay. Take the time to repair the situation. Whew, we got a lot of cars kind of flying all over the place here. Something just landed on the floor here. That's something that needs to be paid attention to. Okay, for a lot of you, this could be a work situation. With the Three of Pentacles, maybe you were working with a group of people. The synergy felt right at first. You were working together harmoniously. And maybe this kind of like fell to the wayside. You decided to toss this aside and bring this to completion. I see that with the World to the Four of Swords. You decided to let this go. You just didn't feel like the synergy was working between you. You couldn't get on the same page, and it just wasn't an equitable arrangement. Yeah, you know, again, I feel like you might be approached by somebody in this situation who says, look, we can turn this around. You know, this person doesn't want this tower to fall. They're willing to try again. You know, they're willing to recommit to this situation. It's sort of like their Hail Mary move. With Ted drinking back there, it makes me think that they might be a little thirsty, maybe a little thirsty for your attention. You might be kind of like holding back from communicating with them right now, but I see this person reaching out, you know, making some kind of offer to sit and talk. I feel like they're coming from the heart, but you might suspect the advance just because of what you've already been through with this person, all right? It could be somebody younger than you too, that's a possibility, or somebody you just feel has been a little bit immature in the way they've been dealing with situations. There could be a child in connection with this situation too, and that's causing some more concern. This could possibly be a Leo that you're dealing with, all right? I do feel like there's been some challenges in this connection in the past. Ted just said yes to that, giving us confirmation. There's a need to have a certain level of sensitivity here because somebody, it's sort of like their bark is worse than their bite. And a lot of what's coming up in them is because of their own hurts, their own like wounding. And so this person has a tendency to sort of like fire off or go on the attack without, you know, really thinking about the ramifications of that. And I feel like you're coming from this place where you're trying to just sort of get this person to see a different perspective, a different point of view. They don't need to be so defensive just because you're trying to work through certain issues with them, all right? So I feel like you're trying to rationalize, reason with this person. I do feel like you're the one who's being more mature in this situation, and you're trying to work things out, but there's something related to the past that's really having an effect here. But I do feel like you're going to have the strength to overcome this challenge, this issue. There's something that's being worked out here. I could definitely see that this could be a work situation, and there could be finances involved. But for some reason, I'm getting this piece here of trying to make like a family situation work too, where there's children involved, potentially related to a past partner, you know, something that was already closed cycle on, but this is sort of a holdover. Almost like, you know, a baby's mama or an ex is kind of like at the forefront. It would have been a serious connection. I really feel that. I don't think this would be something casual, but there's definitely something that is trying to be resolved here. Somebody's trying to avoid an all-out fallout in this situation. All right, tell me more about this situation. What needs to be highlighted for Gemini in this situation? It looks like you're being really mature here. You might have put down some blocks in this situation. Okay, it's possible with the Two of Swords, but the Two of Swords is in reverse here. Okay, so maybe the blocks have been in place like a little too long in this situation, and that's created a real stalemate here. You might want to consider lifting those, at least to get the dialogue going, at least get some communication going. I also feel like maybe you haven't been certain what choice you should make in this situation or the best course of action. We see that with the Two of Swords in reverse is sort of being a little stuck. Again, it's about being up in the head. We did see that Eight of Swords open, so we know that there's in some way you're not quite sure how to move forward. Maybe you feel like you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, or there's something that's being left out here. And for some reason, you keep telling yourself that you don't have the ability to act in this situation. You don't feel confident in acting in this situation. That's what I feel, okay? And you feel because there's something that you're not aware of. There's certain information that's been omitted. I feel like something's going to happen by the full moon coming up on the 26th, the day after Christmas, in sign of Cancer, that's going to really create what's needed to finally let go in this situation. And I don't see you resisting letting go in this situation. I just think that you'll realize that this is not something that's even worth fighting, really. You know, there might have been a real bone of contention here at one point, but I feel like you're kind of like giving up this battle and you're just giving this an opportunity to work itself out. I don't see you resisting this at all in any way, shape, or form. Again, it could have something to do with the baby's mama. A child could be involved in this situation. This could be a situation that you're having with a mother figure as well, just for that Cancer piece to come in. This could be, we have Leo come up. This could be somebody who is a Cancer Leo cusper, okay, that's connected to this situation. But I feel there's something that's trying to be ironed out here, and it's very practical, and it has a child potentially in the mix, and it involves working together. Might be some financial arrangements that are involved here. You feel in some way the situation hasn't been fair in the past. There's something that's been a little bit sneaky, underhanded, going on behind your back, and you're really trying to figure out, okay, how do we work this out? Now, in some cases, not all, I'm picking this up. This is coming in for somebody, though, so I'm going to speak to it. This could be a case where you were with somebody and you found out that they were kind of like fooling around with somebody from their past. There could be a pregnancy in association with this. This could have caused you to kind of like pull your energy back from this person, shut down. You wanted to bring an end to this relationship. You were fully ready to let it go, but this person that stepped out on the relationship doesn't want to release the relationship. They want to prove that they can make a commitment here. And there might be a past pattern here. This might be something that's happened before. I do feel like communication is coming in around this. Look for the opening 2 months of the year to be a time of a lot of back and forth communication, a lot of messages, a lot coming in the DMs. Also, a lot of plans of transformation for the future. Some of you may be considering moving, okay? I'm getting that. With the Tower reversed, you know, it makes me feel like the home life is being affected in some way, or something just isn't quite right at home. I'm feeling like you may be more of the persuasion, Gemini, where you're really feeling like, I just want to get moving, you know? I'm tired of being stuck in this gridlock. And this may be why you have a big letting go at the full moon. Maybe something further gets illuminated for you in regard to this situation that makes you say, that's it. I know what I want to do now. I've been sitting here. I've been feeling burdened. You know, I've been feeling stressed out about this. I've been in the dark. I haven't known what's been going on with the Ten of Wands. Meanwhile, you know, I'm not seeing anything grow for myself in this situation. And the only way I can kind of like free myself of this and move forward is if I drop responsibility and concern and worry about what everybody else is going to do. I do see that there's an opportunity for some kind of healing here in this situation. There is an opportunity to get on the same page with the Three of Cups and actually, you know, find a way to work things out. Again, it really could be in relation to a child. And it could be in relation to working out some kind of financial arrangements, or maybe this is involved in visitation, or even providing for a child's future. Maybe a child is of the age where they're ready to go to school, you know, and there's more financial support that needs to come in to fund this, or something else that the child is wanting to do that kind of requires, you know, a little bit of financial backing. I'm getting that. It's like the finances are affected here in some way. And I think you've been through this many, many times in this situation or with this person, even if this is a new scenario. It's like there's always something coming at you and you're always fending something off. It's just one thing after another. And I think that's why you're feeling like, I really just want to get moving on from this. I'm ready for transformation into my life. I'm tired of being stuck and weighed down by everybody else's stuff, you know. This is definitely about a soul contract here. In some cases, this is about, you know, reviewing a contract. Do I want to continue on in this soul contract? Do I want to continue on this lease? Do I want to sign on for, you know, another year at this position, you know, or am I wanting to do something brand new? But I feel like either way, you're kind of reviewing your story and how you want that to unfold in 2024. I feel like you've spent a lot of time, especially over the past year, really tending to everybody else's needs, taking on a lot of outside responsibilities. Meanwhile, the things you've been wanting to grow for yourself have kind of been suffering. And so I think you've been in this process of looking at where the energy drains are. Where am I wasting my time? Where are people taking more than they're giving? Where is there mutual support? And where is it feeling like I'm just here to be everybody's dumping ground? And I think you're moving accordingly with what's revealed to you. And a lot of you have chosen to kind of spend some time alone, get out there on your own, you know, figure out what's right for you. You're really trying to sort things out on an internal level. And I feel like it's going really deep. And you might even be shining a light on the past. You've been thinking about how you grew up, you know, what life was like at home for you. And maybe you're seeing certain things mirrored in the situation you're dealing with right now that remind you of certain challenges you faced in your life, you know, when you were a kid and what it was like growing up in your home. And it's echoing certain things to you about how you want your life to be different from that. And you know that the only way to change that is to start to, you know, shift yourself. You can't really take control of other people's choices. You can only choose your own path. And so I do feel like there's this piece where you may spend some time alone in 2024. You may choose to kind of do some traveling by yourself, or maybe get a separate place. If you're currently living with someone, you might want to have your own living quarters, you know, so you can just have a little private time, just sort of focus on yourself. But I do feel like you're doing a lot of deep internal spiritual work. Some of you are taking up counseling, you know, you're going to see a therapist for the first time. You're really diving into your stuff. You're working through a lot of heavy issues. Some of you have really discovered a spiritual path that's speaking to you. And the more that you kind of give this your focus, your attention, you're noticing certain things are coming to light to you that you realize aren't in harmony with you anymore. And you might really feel challenged about moving on from some of these things because, again, I feel like there's a sense of loyalty, there's a sense of devotion, a sense of allegiance, not wanting to disappoint people, feeling overly responsible for others' happiness and well-being. But at the same time, something's calling you forward. What's beautiful is that I do see that there's an alignment that happens here. Okay, we do have the Two of Cups coming in with the Four of Wands. So where you are looking for love and you're looking for things to get on the right track, I do feel like you're coming into alignment with a very important soulmate on your path. And it looks like love and it looks like you're in accord with each other. And it's a really beautiful thing. There will be cause for celebration. Some of you are finally tying the knot with somebody. You're really making it official. You're getting married, you're moving in together, you're deciding to jump into it. You might have been held back for a while because there was somebody in the connection that was sort of non-committal. They had a bit of a roving eye. You know, they always had to bring some kind of third party in the mix that caused a lot of problems. Or you felt like they were just overly flirtatious, sneaking around, keeping stuff, you know, keeping stuff private, keeping stuff hidden with the high priestess here. But I think you suspect it, you know. you had your radar going off. And I think your judgment was correct about that. But there is something that's karmically balancing out here, all right, with the Six of Pentacles. And for some of you, it very well could lead to a marriage or a serious union. Either way, I see there is some kind of spirit of celebration here. And where there was a falling out, things come back together again. There's some kind of healing happening here. And I feel like this healing doesn't just bring together two people, but it actually brings a whole circle of people together. You know, might even bring a community together. In relation to businesses that were forged, that kind of got thrown to the wayside, if this is in relation to some kind of business partnership, I feel like you're going to get to the other side of that. You're going to find a new way forward, but it's because you do something in a very different way than you did before. I think you might be willing to invest in this person's idea, but only if they're willing to take on board some of your ideas, because I feel like you have a little bit more experience in this area than the person you're butting heads with. And this person needs your support. They need your funding to make this happen. But in order for them to receive that, I think that you need to have a greater say, you know, in how you're investing your money. You need to make sure it's a wise investment. I do feel like you'll be able to work it out, okay? And this may actually be some kind of project that requires you to have some kind of big launch with maybe a launch party or some kind of opening event, something like this. I do feel like you're going to be celebrating and it'll turn out well. But first, there's disruption and there's a need to sort of like renegotiate things. Make sure that if in the past you kind of just invested in what this person put forward to you and it turned really sour, you felt ripped off or like agreements weren't kept, I really would draw up some kind of document, some kind of contract this time around. Don't just move ahead impulsively, okay? Because that could really shoot you in the foot. And this goes double if you're dealing with a fire sign energy, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Don't get suckered in, all right? Because the devil is in the details. You could find yourself in a really binding arrangement that you wish you could get out of, all right? So make sure everything is very much upfront, outlined, detailed, and that what you really want in this situation is represented. But I do feel like either way, even in business, you know, there's somebody here who's got a lot of vices in this situation. And this could have been what caused problems monetarily in the past. You know, somebody was sort of like skimming a little off the top. This could also be in relation to some kind of, I don't know why I'm picking up like entertainment industry, like something connected to the entertainment industry here. I'm just noticing this body belly broad here, you know, and the devil, you know, getting into some legally binding contract. So if you're doing something creative, I don't know, man. If you're involved in something creative, something that has something to do with the independent, I meant to say independent, you know, I meant to say with the entertainment industry, it might be better for you to go independent rather than going like the corporate route in this situation. If you sign on to the first offer that comes your way, there might be something in there that really could kind of make you a slave to the grind. You know what I'm saying? You might want to get another view at this. All right. I think you really need to represent yourself strongly in this situation. Don't sign on for something that you're not comfortable with. All right. If you really speak up for yourself and you take legal action this time, all right, make sure you're represented properly. Make sure you got some kind of details really hammered out in a practical way. Don't just, you know, don't just shake on it. You know what I'm saying? Outline the details. Make sure there's agreements made here that are really solid. Then I think the commitment will follow. And with that will come the transformation, all right, with the Magician here. There will be a new beginning. There's a way for this to work out, but you have to learn from your past experiences. So I think this is a situation where the commitment needs to be all in. It can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But where there's a desire to turn around a situation, I'm picking up strong love vibes in this situation, but yet I feel there is still this financial piece in the mix that's causing complications. The finances could be connected to an ex. They could be connected to a love child. Maybe that love child came as a surprise in some cases. Baby's mama, there's something here where finances are very much on the table. There's an ex or somebody that you dealt with in the past that, is having disagreements in this situation. They're a little bit activated. They're coming from a hurt place. There's a need to handle this situation with a lot of maturity, a lot of calmness, and really, ironing out the details and getting it in writing, like making it really clear. Don't just assume that people know the score and they understand what the deal is here. It's very important that everything is outlined up front. Only then will there be the true investment, the commitment that can lead to some kind of growth. And I do feel if you pay attention to these details, you take these steps, this situation can move forward. But it's because of engagement, willing to take the initiative, and doing the work to alchemize this situation. In cases of a love relationship that looked like it was just about to go down for the count, this can be bringing it back to life in such a surprising way you couldn't anticipate it. But there might be some kind of innovative fix required in this situation. That's something you haven't tried before in order to make this work. I don't know why I'm getting this, but part of the problem might be that you each need to have more independent time. Like you might need to have your own space to really make this work. Maybe it might feel a little bit unconventional for you, especially in terms of like a committed relationship. You might feel like, well, but no, like we should live together. That is the way it should be. But it might be time to explore other options, because I feel like in this situation, there's two people. Isn't it interesting? We got the high priestess to the magician here, okay? So this is giving me the impression that there's two people here who are both very, deep, soulful, spiritually oriented people, really working on themselves, transforming a lot, and also kind of being guided forward by their intuition and what feels right to them and where their spirit's calling them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. If somebody is wanting to have an opportunity to have more space, maybe a space of their own, you might want to try this out. And in fact, this could be the key to a brand new beginning here with the Ace of Cups. But I do see there's some kind of renewal in love happening here. You might really see this come in the summertime. And I feel it's because you're willing to do something new in a situation. You're also investing in yourself, and you're not willing to let your own needs sort of be brushed aside anymore, just so other people can be happy and you can kind of keep the peace. It's like you're actually understanding that, no, I can't really give myself fully to any relationship or any situation if I feel like I'm constantly spilling my energy out. I need to feel like it's fulfilling for me too. So I do feel there's a bit of you switching things up, putting yourself first. And this is helping you a great deal in relation to a sense of betrayal you felt. And maybe in some ways you felt kind of like you abandoned yourself. At the end of the day, when we're looking at challenges, even within the scope of relationships, we have to understand that our relationships are a mirror for us. So in some way, we're playing a role in that. It's there to educate us in some way about something that needs to shift inside of us if we're not liking what we're seeing reflected back at us in our partner. And so I see that you're really in this place where you're realizing like ways that you compromised yourself too much, or you let yourself down, or you betrayed yourself by not really standing up for yourself and really understanding your worth and your value. But I see this radically turning around here with the King of Pentacles. And I like this because we see that the Knight of Pentacles goes all the way to the King of Pentacles. So there is growth here. But I feel like this growth comes about in an innovative way. And again, I definitely feel this is more so speaking to romantic relationship. But I am picking up this piece for some of you here that are the creative types, that this could be something industry oriented. and the decision to maybe forego a standard contract, okay, to move more independently, or to maybe, you know, even fund something independently so you can really retain all the rights to your creative property. You might have been on a different page with the person you were working with before, or if you're in a band, you know, that can make things even more complicated when you get all the different egos involved and everybody has a different idea about the best way to move forward. Or if you're working with a team of people, you know, this might have been really challenging to come to some terms of agreement. But I feel like the way that you were moving forward in the past just wasn't equitable. And it could have been because you were doing most of the work, and yet you were kind of like being left out in the cold while everybody else was sort of making plans and leaving you in the dust, like leaving you outside the loop. You may have even been responsible for providing some of the financial funding in this situation. And if it weren't for you, nothing would have gotten off the ground. But I feel like you're restructuring things. It's like, if I'm going to continue to invest in this, it needs to work for me. And I have to be represented as well. And I feel that applies in regard to business, where there's some kind of group project. I'm really feeling in that case it's related to the industry, like the entertainment industry in some way. This could be the music industry. This could be something you're doing in relation to, you know, television, film, something where entertainment comes into play, you know, managing for bands, things along these lines, okay? I feel like there's an agreement getting hammered out and it gets things moving forward. It looks really good. There will be financial growth here in terms of business that involves anything in the entertainment industry or some type of creative enterprise. It looks really good after you really dial things in. You can't just do it with a smiling handshake anymore. You need to start getting more serious about it and really outlining terms, you know, in contract form. So everybody is very clear about what they're signing on for and what their responsibility is. So you don't end up in the same kind of situations where you get cut out, you know, after you were the one who did, you know, the majority of the heavy lifting. And I see you feeling really good about this. Look at this, Queen of Wands energy. This is definitely really feeling in your element. Your fire's forward. You're feeling like very much intact with your personal, like your personal potency, right? It's like you're working your mojo here. You're in your element, and you're wanting to make a name for yourself, even if you're working with another. You know, you don't want to lose your own sense of individuality. You don't want to lose your own creative voice. You don't want to lose your own soul's expression. You know, you want to have the opportunity to still retain your independence, even when working within a group, or even in the case of relationship. You know, I feel like this is something that you've rediscovered in your time on your own. And, you know, you don't want to lose this, all right? This could also be in connection to a fire sign energy that you're hammering things out with. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's come in a few times. And again, this is a quintessential Sagittarius card here with the Page of Wands. This is somebody who could be reaching out to you. And I don't know, maybe they've been noticing that you've been stepping into your independence a bit more. They feel like you're looking really good, you know. And they might want to kind of like lock that down. They don't want somebody else running off with that prize, right? But somebody here is really stepping into this Empress energy. It's a time of growth. It's a time of creativity. It's a time when you realize you've been through a lot of growth. You've really learned your lessons, and you're in this place where you feel like you got it on lock and you're just really ready to live out of that potential. I see that 2024 is going to be the year of your come up, and it's coming towards you after a time of a lot of loss. You had to really go through an intense cycle of closing some heavy stuff out, man. You might have even dealt with an actual death in the family or somebody very close to you that really impacted you. This might have got you thinking. I got this coming in. this might have got you thinking about your own mortality. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens when somebody really close to us passes on. It gets us looking at our own lives. Then you might have really started thinking about the ways that you were kind of just going through life on autopilot. You're like, I don't want to leave this life with, you know, so much of it unlived. I think you really started to have it dawn on you how much you were sort of chained to other people's expectations and that your own desires have been sort of like pushed to the wayside. I see you reclaiming yourself in 2024. It makes you very attractive. It makes you very appealing. I see a lot of opportunity for growth and expansion coming your way. And you're going to look damn good doing it too, okay? But it's sort of like first you have to go through this ending. And I think there's a little bit of this energy trailing behind you as you enter into 2024. I don't really feel like you're going to have this kind of wrapping things up cycle completed until springtime. Springtime is when you really bounce back, okay? That's when everything really starts to grow for you. You start to feel better. I feel like there's a real rejuvenation in your health. I also feel like you're really just, you're feeling yourself. And I also think you're feeling somebody else too. I mean, we definitely got, you know, those signs on the board of like coming into alignment with someone. If you're coming into alignment with a romantic partner, it's because you feel like they can finally meet you on your level. You're an empress or an emperor, you know, and you need somebody who's also done their work and is ready to really like, you know, grow within a connection, I feel. And I think you're going to find that partner. But there's something you need to let go of here first before you can move towards this. For some of you, you're ending a relationship that you realize just is kind of like it's hit the ceiling. It can't go any further up from here. It's just where it's at. It's interesting because I am kind of noticing this like fire sign energy coming at you, but we see where the maturation energy is coming in with this pentacles energy here. So it's possible you might choose a more kind of like stable partner, whereas before you might have gone for somebody who was a bit more fiery, and it might have been more about the passion and, you know, the endorphins and the sexual attraction. You might forgo that because you're kind of feeling like this is a little bit of an immature energy. You don't really feel like it will ever level up. And you're really wanting somebody who can meet you in that place where they're ready to invest and really grow. Some of you may have decided, you know, as you've grown older, you know, maybe for a while it was okay. It was cool with you to be sort of like a free agent, independent, playing the field, having fun, or, you know, just having a kind of like an open relationship, or maybe just not needing to have anything official, like we're hitched, you know? And you may actually be getting to the point where you're like, no, you know, I really do want to be married, or I really do want to live with somebody and build with somebody and just have that real solid partner that I can count on, you know? And I think if that's the case, yeah, I think I think this is the case. I think this is really coming through strongly for one of the people in these scenarios. I think that there's some relationship that you're going to leave behind where the person maybe promised commitment, or it felt like things were heading in that direction. Like, this is the person I'm really going to like grow old with and build with. And something shifting in the connection where there's somebody here that's just really wanting more freedom. They're wanting to explore. They're wanting to, you know, discover themselves. I feel like this person is currently like, they're going through a growth process, you know? And I feel like you're wanting something a little bit more stable. You're wanting something where you can feel like there's something you can really count on there, okay? And so you may feel like when this person brings forth forward this offer. They may have been a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could also have a strong water sign placement, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, okay? But I feel like when this person brings forward this offer, you just feel like it's too little too late, or it feels a little immature to you. And you're not wanting it, you know, with the Four of Cups. And what you can't see right now is in turning this down and experiencing a letting go or an ending, this might feel really disappointing to you. And you might feel a little begrudging about it, actually, and be kind of like stuck in that place for a little bit. That might actually be what puts you in that Eight of Swords, where you're just like, why? I went through all of this only to have to cut it off and let it go. There's your energy, Queen of Swords, okay? But there's just some truth that's undeniable for you, and you can't ignore it any longer. And I also think that that's what that Eight of Swords is about. You know, it's like you got to take off the blindfold. You got to look at things as they are. It's not going to help you to live in fantasy land, or, you know, to hope that someday something's going to level up to be what you want it to be. I think there's a part of you that understands, if I go in this direction, I know how it's going to turn out. You know, it's going to be the same old, same old. You know this. And so it might be time to let go and to walk alone for a little bit and sort of like, you know, try something new, branch out, be willing to be open to new experiences. But I do see a solid commitment being made in 2024. And in some cases, it's reconciliation, you know. Maybe you need some time apart. It doesn't mean it always has to stay that way. But, you know, sometimes people don't really value what they have until it's gone. And then they realize, oh, man, you know, I didn't realize how good we had it. There does show that there's a possibility to turn a relationship around. But I am getting the piece here that there's something really radical that needs to shift in this connection, because somebody here wants serious commitment and somebody here doesn't. All right. Now, you might be able to figure out a way to work that out. It might just mean having more independence, and that, you know, you were living together, you stop living together, you start having your own spaces. Or you were in a committed relationship, but you decide, okay, let's experiment with opening it up. Let's see how that works. Let's see how that feels. But there is this piece here about this independent element coming in. And yet others of you are really just deciding that you're not going to take any offers, you know, that just aren't going to meet you where you're at. You know, some of you have been single for a while. You've been dealing with sort of like people just half-stepping, you know, you've been doing a lot of dating, but you haven't met anybody who really wants to grow within a relationship. And I feel like having this growth within relationship is something that's really important to you. And some of you are mothers, or, you know, your fathers. And so you're also really strongly considering your children in this situation. You want to make sure that whoever you're coming together with is, you know, they're in it, you know, they're in it for the long haul, because having the stability is really important. And others of you, you're wanting to have children. And that's why this is becoming more of an issue for you, where you're really wanting somebody who can grow with you, invest in you. And so I do feel like something needs to be changed here. There is something you're cutting off. There is an old cycle that's ending. And I feel like this is really around the home, but there might be somebody that's having a lot of resistance in relation to this. Let me do a cut of the deck energy. It looks like it turns out well in the end, though, okay? Yeah, I think there's been a lot of juggling in this situation, and it's because there's been secret stuff going on, and you know it, and you may have even discovered it. You might have done a little snooping. I got to be honest with you. With this Page of Swords here, you might have done a little snooping. You might have looked in the phone. You might have gone into, you know, the DMs and just sort of like tried to suss some stuff out. But I think you've been suspicious that somebody might have been juggling you for a while, and that they might have, you know, a lot of options. And so I feel like you have options too. Okay. And this might be something that you're just now starting to look at. But either way, do you notice she's kind of like pushing off these options, and she's like, wait a minute. All right, let me just get really clear on what's right for me, because there has been a lot of confusion in this situation with the moon, and there's a lot that's kind of happening out of sight, you know. And somebody in this situation might think, well, out of sight, out of mind, you know, but it's like, no. It's not out of sight, out of mind. And like I said, I feel like with that full moon, something that's going to come up at that time, right around the 26th, right around Christmas time, it's really going to make things clear. It's going to illuminate things. And there is a choice to make here with the Lovers. And this is your energy, Gemini. And it's interesting because I feel like there might be a message that comes in here in relation to this that might actually get you thinking of options where you weren't thinking of them before, okay? And this might be the game changer that comes in at the tail end of the year that has you opening up the year kind of going, oh, wait, I need to kind of have some time to myself to make up my mind. Because you might realize that you have an opportunity to move in a new direction romantically and move away from a situation that's been pretty dissatisfying for you. And so this might put you in a bit of a quandary, no matter what. There's some new invigoration of passion happening for you in 2024. Ted just affirmed that with a yes. I do see you coming into alignment with a true soulmate. And this is somebody who will commit. There is a spirit of celebration around this. There's building with this person. It looks really good. It feels really good. I do feel like for some of you, this is coming back together with somebody who couldn't commit before, all right? But not until you have a time of like separation. And I'm getting this piece about separate living spaces is coming through very strongly. It feels like a disappointment at first, okay? And you may even have some regrets about it or wonder if you're doing the right thing. But look at this rebirth energy coming in with the Two of Cups on those backs there. That's also good luck, okay? So there's some opportunity here that you can't see. And, you know, in some cases, it was just like there's third-party interference that, you know, was disrupting a connection. And it's not until you take this risk and you branch out on your own with the Fool and take this big, bold action, all right, with this Ace of Wands, that you get a brand new beginning. This is definitely you taking some kind of risk, some type of leap. It's a strong action. I do see you hitting the road. I see you traveling a lot, and some of you are moving. I feel like a lot of you that are currently in some live-in relationship dynamic where one of you wants commitment and the other just can't seem to stop, you know, their partying ways or, you know, playing around, you know, acting like an independent agent, even though they're in a committed relationship. I see you letting that go because you really want to hold out for the real thing and somebody who will build with you. And I do see you'll get it. Okay. Either way, 2024 looks like a time when the finances are really going to grow for you. And a lot of that has to do with you being willing to go your own way, do your own thing, stand up for yourself, and make sure that, you know, your terms are on the table and that you're not just like agreeing to it. You're really making it official and you're holding people accountable. I also feel like by investing in yourself and cutting things off, cutting the cord where you need to, where you're the one who's like doing all the nurturing of the relationship or nurturing of the project, you know, you're the one pouring all the energy in. This is the right choice. You do that and you come into alignment with somebody, something that pours back into you. And there's a lot of growth that comes from it. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and give a super awesome future card just to see what else is coming in for you, Gemini. All right, so it looks like you will spend some time alone in 2024, but I feel like it's more for self-exploration. It might even be part of the healing process. A lot of you are entering some kind of therapeutic process. You're wanting to sort things out, and it's important for you at this time to come to a place of real spiritual alignment. So I do think it's going to be a huge time of spiritual growth for you. All right, and it looks like things turn out well after a little bit of challenge. All right, you're gonna have to stick to your guns and really represent yourself and stop telling yourself that you don't have options or you don't know what to do, because I think you really do know what you need to do. It's just, it's hard to do what you know you need to do. All right, I think you know you need to put an end to some nonsense, but the irony is it's like as soon as you do that, you feel so much better. It's like you have an interim where you're kind of like finding your way and figuring out what will work for you, and you're doing some healing and getting in touch with your soul. But then it leads to all this growth, you know? It's nothing but a come up for you. So I definitely think you would be wise to head in this direction, okay? What's coming in for Gemini in 2024, Spirit? What's coming in for Gemini 2024, Spirit? Let's see what the baseline energy is here. Yeah, look at this. Flame in reverse. Like, you're not going to have your fire put out anymore, okay? You're not going to let anybody steal your fire either. I feel like you're done with this devil energy. Could have been dealing with a Capricorn. All right, we've had some Scorpio references come up on the board. Cancer, Leo, pretty strong. We had some Libra, Taurus references on the board, Virgo as well, okay? Just to throw out some of the characters that have shown up. Your energy's shown up really strongly. I do feel like you're definitely moving into more of this independent energy, and you're not letting people steal your fire anymore. Like, you're bringing your fire forward. In some cases, you're burning some bridges because you realize that you've had nothing but takers in your life and in certain areas, and you're really taking charge and you're turning things around. And people are kind of shocked that you're not willing to just accept the bare minimum anymore. But it's a whole brand new day. You know, I do see you giving the finger to some people too. Ooh, I like this for you. Okay, I'm going to have to check out that card there. Yeah, you know, you straighten your crown. You know your worth. You know what you deserve. And I feel like you've been following the signs with this hawk medicine here, and it's bringing you in alignment. Like, Spirit's got somebody for you, all right? And you're going to be guided there. There's going to be a lot of synchronicity in coming together with this person or coming back together with this person. But again, if you're reuniting, I feel like it's after a time of separation. There's first this need to kind of untangle and have some breathing room and really do your own work solo. You know, you each have things you need to hammer out individually that are held back as long as you're still kind of like cohabitating. You know, if you're living together, this is more of a challenge. And I feel like that's primarily where the separation is coming. How can we kind of create space for ourselves by having our own space to go to? This is coming up really intensely. And for some of you, this is in the case of like a roommate situation. You're living with roommates and you really realize, like, I'm going through a lot of stuff and I just need time to myself. So you might be looking to move to a place on your own, and that'll be a really good move for you, especially because I feel like you're coming into alignment with somebody that you know, is going to want to commit with you. You know, they're going to want to grow with you and they're going to want to seal the deal. So it'll be a lot smoother of a transition if you already got a place of your own. But you're straightening your crown here. You know who you are. Those of you attracted to women, you know, you got your eyes set on someone special. You feel like they're your match, okay? And, you know, you feminines, you're definitely finding somebody who's going to really treat you like a queen and make you feel like you have a very important place in their life. And I think you've been holding out for this. It's going to feel really good. It's some happiness that comes in, you know, and it breaks up the monotony. And this could be that connection, okay? I feel like there's sort of like, there's another opportunity that comes in out of the blue. And I think this sort of throws a wrench in the current works, all right? Where you're like, you mean I have options too? It's almost like, I feel like you've been dealing with somebody who's kind of kept their options open, or maybe they've stepped out on the relationship before, and now you got something come your way. Maybe you receive a special gift. I got this gift could come in around Valentine's Day. I don't know why I got that. I mean, certainly it could come in around Christmas, but for some reason I got around Valentine's Day. It's something that breaks up the monotony. And maybe it just gives you like a little thrill or a little excitement. 55:22 on the clock. It gets you looking at things differently and gets you thinking about some changes you might want to make in your situation. Now, when this comes in, it might cause disruption in your current connection. We see there's two figures inside this blender. They're angry. There's obviously some kind of fight going on here. And this card flew out and landed on the top card of this glow in the dark tarot. So I'm going to see what this card is because I feel like it factors in. Woo. And that could be when the move happens. Okay. We do have the world, the wheel of, I went to say the world. So that could be when the ending comes because the world's about completion, but both deal with fixed sign energy, which is interesting. Here's the wheel of fortune. Okay. So I do feel like something's going to come in out of the blue. It's unexpected. It's an option, and it's an option for you to have some happiness with another person in another direction. For some of you, it's coming through an opportunity, and it requires you to move, do something different. And it creates that separation from your current partner. And this is what is the game changer. I don't think it'll be smooth. I think it'll cause some disruption when this comes in. It was 56:44 on the clock, but this is totally in alignment for you. And you should go for it because it does turn out well for you. With the Wheel of Fortune upright, it's the wheel turning in your favor. You could be, experiencing some tension with any of the fixed signs. This could be Leo, this could be Taurus, this could be Aquarius, Scorpio, and Ophiuchus could be involved in the mix, which is Sagittarians born November 30th through December 18th. But either way, I feel like whatever truth was missing that you couldn't see before with the Sphinx energy here, the mystery is solved, the riddle is solved, and you now have some answers about how you want to move forward. I'm going to do a cut of the deck here, see what we got. Yep, somebody's going to be on the attack here for sure, okay? They're not going to be happy. Likely some feminine associated with the situation because, with praying mantis, she mates, she kills, okay? There could be somebody in this mix that's not happy about you taking this opportunity. But when the spaceship's on the scene, this is very much that big Fool energy. You already had the Fool come up, so I know you're going to take a leap. You're going to take a risk. This is a brand new chapter for you. It's all brand new people. It's meeting a lot of new people. It's networking. A lot of times it's moving to a brand new area where you don't know anybody. You're starting over. It's unfamiliar at first, but it brings you so many blessings. And these people that are coming into your life, they're not fly by the seat of your pants. These are people that are going to be with you for the long haul. You're going to have a future with these people. There's growth. And the moon cycles are very significant in regard to this situation. So I feel first we got that full moon coming in that's going to be so pivotal and so important. Coming in on the 26th, something gets illuminated there. It gets you thinking a little differently. You get a piece to the puzzle. Then I think that new moon in Capricorn on the 11th of January, something really sets off there. You get a new idea. It's 59 on the clock, 14, that's 5. It sets the change in motion. You got some opportunities, but you can only take them if something changes in your situation. And then I feel that's going to take some time to play out. And then by the final new moon in that series that comes in Aquarius, oh, is that around, let's see, when would that be? It'd probably be in February, I would think. I don't know the exact date, but be on the lookout for that because that's when I see you moving forward, okay? And I do see you going to a new home, all right? This is a whole new adventure for you. It feels in alignment. It may feel a little weird. You may feel out of your element, but you're looking at things squarely. You know what's right for you, and you're going to move toward this thing. You're going to remember the good times of the past, but change is in order. And